so Edamame was one of my songs.
I like that song.
Yeah, that song has balls hanging low. Yeah,
really good.
So that song was like the number 3 or 4th biggest sync song, like in 2022, 2023. So that means basically I was like waking up every other week with like a sync. It wasn't as
what's a sync?
So a synchronization. So basically it's like Garfield is like, oh, we need a trailer audio. Boom, sync Edamame, bing, bing. And he's just like driving or something. I don't know if it's like if it makes sense. He'll sync the sound team on Garfield or Pixar, wherever it is. Will be like, this is the budget we have, and hit up Sony ATV, like Sony, my publishing company, and be like, we want this song in this trailer. That's it. So I would just wake up some days with people using my music, or like one time we got a sync with CarMax for one of my songs called Bad to the Bone, and it was just like a llama just like head out the window just looking at the camera, and it was like, yeah, I'm bad to the bone basically, and they just used that portion of the song. And I was like, all right, cool. And CarMax paid me, and Taco Bell's paid me, like Mountain Dew's paid me. It's like kind of sick. Yeah, it's really dope.
Do you ever find it intimidating that like you have to keep topping yourself? Like you have a good song and now it's like, how can I make something better than what I just made?
So I was really struggling with that in the beginning of COVID. I had La, and that song was stratospheric. Obviously did not expect that song to get that big. That was like right in the beginning of TikTok, and it's almost at 1 billion streams now. And just one of those experiences where I was like, oh, this really happened. Like, I remember I was sitting in my bedroom. I just like started crying. I was like, dude, my phone is blowing the up right now. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is real. And my mom like walks in with some apples and is like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. This is right after I graduated university. Like, I crossed the stage, went to the hotel. My sister was like, yo, why are you not coming to lunch with us? Like, you just graduated. Like, celebrate with the family. And I was like, no, I got to drop the song. It's going to change my life. And then like 2 days later, it exploded.
How did you know that song is going to be so big? Is it feeling?
Yeah, I don't know. I played it live for a couple times, and like people could recite the hook like immediately. It just banged, like everything. Like the mix sounded perfect. I don't know. I remember also I hooked up with a girl the same night I made it, and I showed it to her. I was like, "Yo, I made this hit. It's a hit. Like I made a hit. Like I did it." And she's like, "It's cool," and I was like, "Whatever." And then she called me like after it blew up. She's like, you told me this song was a hit. How did you know? I was like, I don't know. Like, I actually have no idea. I just told everyone, and it just spoke into existence. And it just happened.
How much do you think that song grossed? Just in everything? Because I imagine, like you said, every other week you were getting syncs. And on top of that, the 1 billion downloads that it's done.
Do you get a plaque or anything for 1 billion?
I think Spotify will actually send me a 1 billion plaque.
That's cool.
I think there's only like 1,200 songs at 1 billion or something like that. I don't know. Maybe not even that many. So Edamame was the one that synced. Weirdly, Lalala was way bigger of a song, like culturally, than Edamame was, but it didn't sync at all. It's because I feel like the Edamame, the song is so driving, and it's like when you want to buy something, you just want to be like sucked in. Mm-hmm. And Edamame, I feel, has that punchiness, like really like upbeat, fun happiness, whereas like La La is just like more of like a weird meshed pop song that no one really has heard before. So La La, I don't know how much that song is fully made, to be honest. So when you sign it to a record label, you never really know how much they spend on it. I'm honestly like, I think I'm gonna audit Columbia, because
walk us through that. Like when you sign a record deal, because you hear so many people saying they got ripped off by their record company. Even Limp Bizkit, I think, is suing whoever their publisher or record company was, because they said like they made no money from certain songs or like from certain albums.
I'm still independent, so I own all of my masters. So basically, whenever I'm like wife and kids checking out, I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm out. I'll sell my whole catalog for millions of dollars. Ideally, I'm like a Bruce Springsteen in a couple of years. You know the vibes. He just sold his catalog for like $250 million.
Everyone's doing
that. How much did Michael Jackson?
Bieber sold his.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
It's f***ed up.
It's like hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions. Yeah. It's insanity.
Did Jackson sell his?
I think Michael Jackson. I think the Beatles bought Michael Jackson. Or no, Michael Jackson bought the Beatles.
Yes,
I think.
That's
they're all like
one bought the other, and they were really upset about that deal.
Yeah. I don't know. We're going to put a list of some people that have sold their catalog. The numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah,
They're
it's
insane.
ridiculous. But I mean, it's evergreen. I think the consumption just keeps on going up. I mean, obviously, like the OG hits, like will always be hits, you know.
That would be cool to be able to buy a song like that. That would be the ultimate flex.
I'll sell you guys a song.
I own that
Really?
song.
Sure. I mean, I have a bunch of songs that don't make any money because they're just. But my musical career started basically from just like gamers using my music on YouTube. So I never clicked the content ID like copyright thing because I was like, I want people to use my music. Like I want to encourage people to use my music, and that was like kind of like a grounding point for the basis of building my career. And yeah, I still to this day, I just went to TwitchCon recently and had a really good time there, and I met so many people that I've never fully met before that have used my music in their like intros or outros of their gaming videos and be like, bro, I love you. And I'm like, I love you, man. Like, thank you.
It's so appreciated because I'll tell from my perspective that there have been times where I've used a little clip of just like 10 seconds, like a little background clip. They claim the whole video.
Yeah. It's so
and I have to
stupid.
go back through and like edit that out, and it kind of ruins it a little bit.
No, totally.
Or videos where I've included like a reaction to something in context and they claim the whole video.
Yeah. Well, so I don't own all of my music.
Yeah.
Lalala, I still have a 5-year license with Columbia. A lot of my music with my friend Young Gravy is all on Republic. So I don't really have full jurisdiction over what happens there, and I can't really get those claimed because I ended up selling the rights to those songs. But at the same time, like, all the music that I have on my Spotify that is not capitalized, so it's like all lowercase, that is my music.
So how does a record deal work?
The misconception is record labels are bad. I don't think they're bad. They just can't work that doesn't have a flame. It's like if you have a financial advisor and he's like, hey, so we're gonna need some money to like make some money. And he's like, and the people are like, nah, go make me money with no money. How does that work? It doesn't work. So if you're working an artist that just isn't working and you just up and signed the wrong guy because you thought he could have been the next pop star, then you're going to get dropped. And then the artist is probably going to get super pressed because we're like, I signed this deal and nobody's helped me out. Like, fuck, brother. I don't know why I brought the UK accent out there, but you see what I mean? They're basically just a bank. But when a song is ripping and they just want to roll their keyboard down with $600,000 to market a song, I'm all hands off. I don't care. Because when Lalala blew up really hard, it was doing like 4.8 million streams a day. So that was making like $20,000 a day, just default. I don't know what the they did. When I sold it to them, it was doing 1 million streams a day, but I don't know what the they did. They spent $650,000. It literally just says marketing expense, $650,000. And I'm like, whatever. It helped my career so much that like I will take the deficit of making money there for a very long time because I can make money in other avenues. So I used to view music as, which made me way more anti-label. I used to view my music as the only revenue generating principle because in university, I was releasing songs. I was like making $4 a day, $8 a day, $16 a day. And I was like, oh, this is like where I'm going to make all my money. So the revenue that I was making from streaming royalties and online like plays was the only money that I was making. And that was like basically the only money I made for a very long time because as I was saying, like touring, you don't really make money. Until like the past year and a half, I've been profiting on touring. Not nearly as much as some other people may, but it's kind of like leveling out to 50-50 now. So basically now I use my music as an avenue and a tool and a marketing tool to get people to my shows and to get people to care more about my business, basically. The issue I had with record labels is I was so afraid of giving up 85 to 90% of all the royalties that I was making in the offshoot chance that they know actually what to do and how to market your songs. But because the music industry is becoming so democratic because social media and labels are basically being like
feet held to the fire a little bit.
Yeah, and like labels are like cleaning up their whole roster, like just firing everyone because they don't have the power anymore. It's not monopolized. Like you can't tell the world that this new song coming out on TikTok is going to be the next big hit. It just doesn't work. Like, you need people. The people make the decision, and the people make all of the right decisions when it comes to the songs. And like, when you hear songs and it's like a small little snippet and the rest of the song sucks or the rest of the song rocks, it's cool because it's like, that's what the people want. That's what the people want. And it's not monopolized anymore. And it's actually, it is beautiful, but it also makes it really fucking annoying for an independent artist, because you're like, okay, do I want to try to market the song, or do I just want to put it out and see if anything happens and wait? And if it doesn't, move on to the next one? I don't know.
That's interesting. I wonder then how many artists are trying to curate their music to be just that song that's used for like a 10-second clip. I heard you mention in another podcast the song $1 Million Baby, and how that song, I mean, you couldn't go like 3 reels on Instagram without hearing it. Mm-hmm. And that probably completely changed this guy's life. Insane, like, monthly listeners. Like, my favorite artist, Rex Orange County, never, and he's been making music for such a long time.
He's fire.
Has not hit that amount of monthly listeners. And this guy did it with, I mean, I don't want to say one song, but effectively, to my knowledge, it was like one song.
So yeah, that's the thing, is monthly listeners is very deceiving, because it doesn't actually mean anything. You can have the biggest song in the world, like cranking, like doing like 15 million streams a day, and nobody will come to your show because nobody cares. They just want the song. They don't care about the artist. So that is like, that's where like the turning point is, like getting the subconscious of society to be like, oh, I fuck with that person. And it's like, how do you develop a story, and how do you develop a personality that people can attach to, that draws them in enough to come to the show, or like buy the merch, mm-hmm. or you know, like do all the other business perspectives that are not just songs. But like, I do totally think that Home Slice is really talented.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be here for a really long time, and I'm happy to have heard his song. I like it a lot.
Although, really quick, before we go into that, even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars, molecular medicine, to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, it's coming fast.
But of course, the problem is that AI requires a ton of speed and computing power, so how can you compete without costs spiraling out of control?
That's why it's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or our sponsor, OCI.
OCI is a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all of your AI and machine learning workloads.
OCI costs 50% less for compute and 80% less for networking, so you're saving a ton of money. Not to mention, thousands of businesses have already upgraded to OCI, including MGM Resorts, Specialized Bikes, and Fireworks AI. And right now, Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half when you move to OCI. This is for new US customers with minimum financial commitment, and the offer ends December 31st, 2024. So see if your company qualifies for this special offer at oracle.com/iced. Again, that's oracle.com/iced with the link down below in the description. Thank you so much, Oracle, for sponsoring this podcast. And now let's get back to the episode.